Do you like the color black? Well, I love the color black, as you can see. And let me tell you that black is now the new orange, or for that matter, it is the new red or the new pink. Well, what do I mean by that? When I say black is the new orange, black is the new pink, I'm referring to idioms. In fact, I'm referring to idioms with the word black. And therefore, in today's lesson, I'm going to be sharing some natural English idioms. What I mean by natural English idioms? It means that these idioms can help you speak English naturally, like a native speaker, right? So therefore, let's have a look at some natural idioms with the word black. The first one is black gold. You're probably wondering, both of them seem like colors, right? Black is a color, obviously, but even gold is a color. So what do I mean by black gold? Here, I am referring to crude petroleum that is black and expensive. Now, the word gold refers to something which is expensive because we all know that gold is expensive, right? And petroleum or crude petroleum is black in color. And because it is black and expensive, it's called black gold. Okay, so whoever owns black gold, well, they'll get very rich, certainly very rich. And that's why I would say something like Matt, maybe my friend, he discovered black gold, which means he discovered crude petroleum where? Beneath our field. And now we're richer than we could ever imagine. Like I said, if you own crude petroleum, you are going to be really, really rich. Okay, let's look at another idiom with black, which is the pot calling the kettle black. Well, all of you have seen a pot, a teapot and a kettle, right? But why would the pot call the kettle black? Do they talk? Well, this is just an idiom which means that you are talking about somebody who criticizes you for something that they themselves are guilty of. Let me help you understand this. It's not as complicated as you think it is. Sometimes people tell you to lose weight. People tell you to diet. But they themselves are probably not living a healthy lifestyle. They themselves are probably not eating healthy. So what are they doing? They are accusing you or they are criticizing you of doing something that they themselves are guilty of. In other words, these people are also called as hypocrites, right? So if I tell you to study but I don't study, well, I am like the pot calling the kettle black. So when you have this kind of a situation where someone is criticizing you, but they are doing the exact same thing that they are criticizing you about, then you will use this phrase. So, Jack called me a liar and a cheat. Now my friend Jack is also a liar and a cheat. I'm not. So, talk about the pot calling the kettle black. How dare he call me a liar and a cheat? He's just like the pot calling the kettle black. Anyway, let's look at our next idiom, which is look black. Why would I look black? Have I painted myself black? Well, not really. This phrase or this idiom over here refers to a state of mind where you appear hopeless or grim. Maybe your situation is bad. So, let's look at a sentence which is, whenever things start to look black in my life, I remind myself of how much I can be grateful for. So, let's remember and let's understand that everybody in life, we go through a difficult time where everything seems hopeless or grim, and in our minds we feel very sad and upset. But that's okay. Even if things look black, we can always remember those things that we still can be grateful for. Okay, we look at another idiom which is paint somebody, anyone, black. Okay, now I would be pretty mad if somebody painted me black because it would take time to take off the color, right? But hold on, I'm not talking about literally painting you black with paint. I just mean that some people tend to make someone appear evil malicious, or ill-intentioned, right? So maybe the person is good, but some people are very smart. They try to show that this good person is also bad. So what are they doing? They are painting that person black. They are causing their reputation to become bad, even though it is not. Not a good thing, right? So in a sentence, you could say, even though she's always been painted black by the media, she's actually a very sweet person when you get to know her, right? So some people, maybe you see them on TV and they're known to be really bad people. The media portrays them as bad people, but they're actually very sweet. So in other words, they've been painted black. Okay, let's look at another idiom, which is black hole. Now, honestly, when I think of a black hole, it sort of terrifies me because it seems to be like a hole where I'll just go in and never come out. It's a very scary prospect if you think about it. But its meaning refers to any place or anything in which things seem to disappear or get lost. That is a scary thing, right? But in a sentence, I think you can use it in many ways, but one way to use it is Alzheimer's, which is a mental condition. It is a horrible illness. It's like a black hole in one's mind. Now, I'm sure if you know about Alzheimer's, this is a disease where a person forgets their own identity. They don't know their name, they don't know who they are, they don't know anything about themselves or their family. And therefore, it is a horrible illness. And we call it a black hole in their mind because whatever they've known for so many years about themselves have simply disappeared, simply gotten lost somewhere. And that's really sad. So therefore, Alzheimer's is like a black hole in your mind. Okay, let's look at another idiom, which is the new black. Remember when I started off this video, I started saying something like, orange is the new black. What do I mean by that? I basically mean that the new black is anything which is the new fashionable thing. Anything which is new in fashion becomes or is called the new black. In a sentence, I could say, electric cars are the new black in the automobile industry, right? A lot of people seem to think that electric cars are the next fashionable or the new fashionable thing because they are more sustainable, they are more environment friendly, and therefore they are the new black or the new fashionable thing. Let's look at another idiom, which is black market. We all know what a market is. A market is a place where we buy and sell products, services, but the word black over here has a negative role to play, and therefore a black market is a marketplace for illegal trade, which means you're probably selling goods that you should not be selling, illegal goods, or goods which are restricted, forbidden to be sold by the government. Look at the sentence to help you understand this better. The government is trying to crack down on the black market for mobile phones, right? So some mobile phones are sold at a price which is not legally sold in typical mobile shops, and therefore the government is trying to stop this kind of a black market, because otherwise if they don't, the regular market will be affected, right? So that's a market for illegal goods where goods are not meant to be sold at a certain price. We look at another idiom, which is blacklist. Here the meaning is simple. It's a list of people, as the word list says or blacklist says. It is a list of people or even things that are banned or not allowed. Okay, so certain people, certain things are not allowed. Well, why would they not be allowed? Because they are not good people. Okay, so if somebody is blacklisted a person or blacklisted a thing, they are not allowed because they're not a good influence probably. So in a sentence you could say, some countries maintain a blacklist of tourists who are not allowed to enter due to security or any other concerns. Okay, there are some people, if you notice, they are not allowed to travel to certain countries. Even certain political leaders, we know, they are not allowed to enter a certain country. They are blacklisted. They are amongst a list of people who are not allowed for many reasons. Okay, so that's what a blacklist is. Let's look at just one more word, which is blackout, a really nice idiom. Now, this idiom is quite interesting because it's got two meanings. Let's have a look. The first meaning is when you experience a sudden loss of memory. Okay, maybe you're in an accident, maybe you've just forgotten because you're nervous, a sudden loss of memory. However, this word can also refer to a sudden power cut. When the electricity in your apartment just goes out, that's also a blackout. So let's look at the sentences. I was so nervous during my presentation that I almost blacked out on stage. Imagine, a lot of us, if our English is not good, right? A lot of us have confidence issues. If your English is not good, what happens? You sometimes just forget everything that you wanted to say. You black out on stage, right? Or you could say, during the storm, we experienced a blackout and had to rely on candles and flashlight, right? Because it was a power cut, there was no electricity. So what happened? We experienced a blackout. Well, these are the amazing natural English idioms with the word black. I'm confident that if you learn to use these idioms in your everyday life, guess what? You will sound like an advanced speaker. And the best part is that you will sound like a native English speaker, as if you're speaking English naturally. Is that what you want? Well, I'm going to offer you one thing. I want you to drop in your comments and write down a sentence with each of these phrases, with each of these idioms, and I will personally correct it and let you know if you've got the word correctly, if you've understood the word correctly in the right context. Alright, so keep learning, keep practicing. These are black idioms for you, and make sure you practice as much as you can. Keep learning. Bye.